Hello guys, just recording a little bit of a response video to the events of yesterday in which Tommy Robinson was arrested in Leeds at the Leeds Crown Court for allegedly breaching the peace. He was charged with that, and I don't know if he was charged with any other offences, and has been imprisoned for 13 months. Now, I would point out at this time, Tommy has been imprisoned before. This was a very dangerous thing because he barely got out of there alive. A guard actually helped him when he was in prison. He was beaten and he barely got out of there alive. His life is literally in danger while Tommy is in that prison. That's not what I'm wishing to speak about specifically, although I did want to raise that point. I want to talk about what actually happened to a degree, because with Tommy being detained, it's a kick in the teeth, if you'll excuse the expression, for free speech. Tommy, like so many others of his type of work, I can think of several more who I won't name at the moment, do their work. They do it independently of the media. They're independent journalists and they cover things that mainstream media do not cover. They raise the points that mainstream media don't wish to touch. They are independent journalists and they are for free speech, and that's the point I wish to make. More than, yes, Tommy being arrested and everything that's happening with him is extremely bad, and I speak out very strongly against that in terms of him personally, but I wish to address more the issue of free speech being oppressed, because regardless of which side of the fence or the spectrum you sit, whether you're on the left or whether you're on the right or whether you're somewhere down the middle, we all have a right to free speech, regardless of who you are or what your views are. Your views may not necessarily align with mine or Joe Blogs next door. That doesn't matter. You still have a right to express your opinion in free speech. By Tommy being arrested in this manner when he was doing absolutely nothing wrong at the time, he was being very careful. There was a suppression order on this case that he was covering due to the nature of the case. He was only referencing newspapers that had already been published when with what he was saying. He was being very careful in what he was saying, and he did nothing that warranted him being arrested. Other than the fact he's Tommy Robinson. Okay, I said that. Okay, there we are. But he was suppressed, and because of that, free speech has been suppressed. Free speech has been shut down. Free speech is one of the pillars of our society. So we say, you know, we say we have a right to express our opinion. But then, if we have the right to express our opinion, why is our opinion suddenly snuffed out like a fire with a blanket thrown over it? It it's not free speech if people are being shut down in the way that Tommy has been. And it's it oppresses everyone. It doesn't just oppress the left. It doesn't oppress the right. It doesn't just oppress. It oppresses everybody, regardless of who you are. Of course, I am well aware that my associates and friends in the United Kingdom at the moment are naturally very concerned by this, because they are now worried that if they speak out in regards to Tommy and what has happened to him, that they might be next on the hit list, so to speak. That they might be shut down themselves. They might be put in the gulag, so chucked in jail, because of them speaking out about Tommy. And this is a key point I wish to raise. They are being controlled. They are being told. They are backed into a position where they cannot speak out. and this is very important. The rest of us around the world, regardless of whether you're on the left or on the right, whoever you are, free speech is being oppressed. So we need to speak up. We need to be their voice as well as our own voice. We need to speak loud enough that the UK can hear us and say, this is wrong. This is wrong. Free speech cannot be oppressed in this manner for anyone. As I said, you might be a person on the left and I am a person on the right. I may not agree with everything you say, but as far as I'm concerned, you have a right to express that opinion and I won't stop you. That's free speech. However, it would appear that in the UK at least, if you have an opinion that does not conform with the opinion of others or the establishment, then bang, you're closed. That's it, gone, goodbye. I mean, look at some other recent events. Lauren Southern and Brittany Pettibone both being blocked from entering the United Kingdom recently as well, a couple of months back. Free speech being shut down again. So this is bad. This is not good. Free speech is, as I said, one of the pillars of our society, and we have a right to defend that, and we need to. We need to get Tommy out of jail very, very quickly because his life is literally in danger, as I said. But beyond that, we need to say, no, enough is enough. We have the right to free speech, and we will exercise this right because it is our right as people. It is our basic human right to be able to express an opinion and to make that opinion be heard and counted for in the public sphere. That is what free speech is. That is what is being shut down. That is why we need to speak up now and go, no, the line is drawn in the concrete, not the sand. Don't draw a line in the sand because the sand can have water wash over it and then that will be wiped away. Draw a line in the concrete so it's there for all time and say, no, enough is enough. We need this free speech. We need to have our free speech because otherwise we are doomed to collapse. If we cannot express our opinion, then we are doomed to fail as a society. We are doomed to collapse. And what happened to Tommy is very appalling. I will continue in my efforts to speak out in support of him and all of those who support free speech, regardless of who they are. I will support anyone who supports free speech, of course, and I will continue to support my friends who I work with on various online platforms, and we have to protect free speech because at the end of the day, we are all hurt when free speech is closed. When free speech is shut off, when we cannot express an opinion, when free speech is shut down, we are all hurt. And I would reference, funnily enough, I'm a Star Trek fan. You can't see anything Star Trek behind me, but I'm a Star Trek fan. And with this incident with Tommy Robinson, it reminded me of a quote from an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. I know this is a bit weird, but I am a geek after all. It was from an episode where the captain of the Enterprise, D, was being investigated for something, and he was speaking out against oppression and civil liberties being taken away. And he said this: with the first link, the chain is forged, the first speech censored, the first thought forbidden, the first freedom denied, chains us all irrevocably. The first time any man's freedom is trodden on, we are all damaged. We are all damaged, and that is resonating with me right now because when a man's freedom of free speech is trampled and trodden upon, we are all damaged. It doesn't matter who you are, what background you're from, what political persuasion you might be. We are all damaged. So we need to continue to speak out for free speech. We need to continue to support Tommy and all of those in the United Kingdom who are being bound and gagged right now from speaking out in regards to this because they need our support because they can't speak out. We have to be their voice. We need to be strong, and I would encourage you all to do that. Hashtag free Tommy Robinson, hashtag free Tommy, all these other things that are being used on social media. Use them, make yourself heard, make this an issue, get this trending, because Tommy needs to be freed, and we need free speech. Thank you.